Hi, quick note. I'm Patrick Naud. I'm one of those 20,400 Canadians, if you follow Dean Takahashi's stock. Started in the industry a while back. I'm one of those lucky ones. One of those lucky ones that got right out of school and got into the video game business. Back then, Ubisoft Montreal was this tiny little studio of 200 people within the first year, and I had a chance of going there from the get-go. Started doing different jobs of associate producer, senior producer, exec producer, stayed there for 14 years. And at one point, had a chance of opening up my own studio. So I joined Square Enix Montreal, that was opening a new studio in Montreal. And this is how I came to mobile. I came to mobile, but not directly. We were focused on crafting this big AAA next generation Hitman game. This is why we built the studio for. But after a year and a half of development, Square Enix did a major shakeup and restructured a lot of their studios. They realized that the whole portfolio of games was around third-person action-adventure games on console, and they looked at diversify the portfolio. And one thing we wanted to explore was tablets and mobile. At that point, tablets was, you could see that the install base was growing exponentially, but also the technology, we could already see that it was coming closer and closer to what the console was. So we took that decision, we embraced it, we started working on Hitman, and we came up with 2 Hitman games. So Hitman GO in 2014, Hitman Sniper in 2015. We spinned off Lara Croft Go from obviously the foundation that was Hitman GO and released Deus Ex GO last year. So, my talk is about premium. We're running a successful premium business. We didn't get everything right from the get-go. I'm not saying it's not a challenge. It's extremely challenging. But premium is less risky. I'll put it this way. It's less risky. It's less risky than premium. It's less risky than free-to-play, as we know a little bit more how to predict how much these products are going to cost. We know a little bit more how to bring them to market. You guys know that for a free-to-play product, if it's not quite successful, but it's almost on the verge of being successful, we're investing without making a lot of margins. So, Square Enix in Japan is actually pretty good at this. They have a really balanced portfolio of high-quality premium game, and they're also making a lot of success out of free-to-play. And even if it's only 5% of the market right now that is attributed to premium game, when you go to the App Store, you can see that, the featuring is a lot more than 5%. Premium games get a lot more exposure. And to be honest, premium games also over-index in the amount of games that get the editor's choice. I'm not saying that free-to-play games aren't good. I'm just saying that premiums, there's one out of 2 editor's choice is a premium game. And there's a big value to being the editor's choice. We were lucky. All of our games have been editor's choice. Again, lucky, we invested a lot of money into getting into these projects, so we expect to get that kind of recognition. So I want to share the amount of page views that we get during the first week because of that featuring. Obviously, Lara Croft Go was over-indexed by the fact that we also had a massive PR campaign around it. But for you marketing folks, having a campaign to generate that amount of clicks, that amount of visit to our product page, this is extremely valuable. Wanted to share more in detail on what does it mean to be highly featured. This is the first 12 months of featuring for Lara Croft Go and the amount of page views that we got out of it. Obviously, the first spike was the release week, but all the key spikes are times that we were featured with a big banner. One of those prime featuring, we got this for the Game of the Year in 2015, and we also got this for the Design Award. And this is an additional 2 million page views a week for each of these prime featuring. Even if it will not match up to what we got initially, but again, the quality that we invested upfront, it pays over time. One key learning that we also did is that we were maybe a little idealist in our approach, saying that if consoles player are willing to pay €60 for a console game, buying a $4.99 game, that should be a no-brainer, right? They're already a fan of the IP. They'll easily convert to buying a premium game, right? That's simple, but not quite. We were slightly idealist. It took us quite a few months to achieve the same number of units that a big console game could sell. Despite the fact that we use all the community channels, we talk directly to what we thought were the core users, it takes a lot longer to get to these numbers. We are lucky, I'll be honest, because of our IPs, because of Square Enix. We are able to get a lot more visibility outside of the mobile space. We can get a lot more visibility with generalist press, with gaming press, because we're present in shows, because we're present in these big Square Enix events. Something I wanted to share, it's a survey we've conducted with our users. Over the first year at Hitman GO, Lara Croft GO, Hitman Sniper, we have a lot of questions, but this is the question: how did you discover the game? And you can see that, obviously, as I talked about press, we're likely over-indexing the market, with 24% of our players learned about the game from the press. 13% word of mouth, which is pretty standard. Social channel being obviously what you expect, the Reddits, Facebook of this world. In others, you actually have 1.5% of our users that discovered the game through the corporate newsletter. You know the thing you sign up when you become a Square Enix member? Well, it works, right? There's a lot of people that actually are reading this and converted because of that. And obviously, 51% of people discovered the game through the store. So even if we thought we would initially over-index with some of our fans from our IPs, it feels that we get a lot more people that are just mobile players that discover the game from the store. And why journalists is also I don't say it's a low-hanging fruit, but we got journalists talking about our games because they liked it, because it was well perceived to talk about premium games, and it's a lot more likely that you can have more organic press from a premium game than a free-to-play game. Quick update on, little detail, the impact of price drops. Every time we drop the price, we climb the charts. This is the US chart for top downloads. That's the update. So, but you see that we reach the same point with a price drop and an update. That's an interesting one. China has been an amazing territory for us. This is for Hitman Sniper. I just want to show you the impact of price drop in China. So this is the first 15 months roughly of lifetime of this project. The product release at $4.99, and then we played with the price. The other spike, this is a big update with major featuring. But all the other spikes is a 99-cent promotion during the holiday season. Afterward, we said, you know what, it seems to be picking up. Let's try to have the game at tier 2, so $1.99 across the board, across the world. And we already had a lot more traction in China. But then we tried a few promotions at tier A. For people that haven't used tier A, it's the lowest possible price you can have on the App Store. Good explanation, but the cheaper country like Canada, instead of having our apps at $1.39, it's at 99 cents. It also, you see the prices on the board. In China, it's 1 yuan, so 15 cents. But you see, we make 250 times the volume, 12 times the revenue. And it was already interesting revenue, so just by doing this price promotion, it overbalanced the fact that we don't have the same impact in the US. When we drop the price for the same period in the US, you go back and forth. So China, US. Obviously, these are not I'm not showing the scale of these numbers, nor because we're a publicly traded company, I cannot share these kind of numbers, but you see the trend. So we have limited impact from these price drop in the US, but it very much overcompensates for what we're doing out of Asia because of this. For core gamers, in-app purchases are also perceived often as evil, except in games that they like League of Legends or Hearthstone. But the idea is, don't put any timers, don't put any paywall, allow people to consume if they want, don't push promotion right in their face with big neon signs and force them to, they can't feel like they're being forced to buy. If you do it right, though, it helps. Retention on Hitman Sniper for people that have utilized in-app purchases is 3 times longer. It makes a fairly big difference. One key thing that we're also shy of doing is promoting and telling people that it's discounted. Again, the reflex of guys that come from the premium space, it feels like it's evil to do it, but it's not. It's a service you're selling to your users. By doing limited offers or providing discounts, they convert, they play your game longer, they have a stronger engagement and a stronger bond with your game. Another example that I have, we run a little test. Same game, same price point, different app, different icon. And we obviously got more revenue from the A/B test when we were running with the banner. Got 40% more revenue just by telling people, oh, by the way, it's 80% off. Both apps were at the same price. Both apps were 99 cents. But you see a performance. Sometimes it's just a little incentive more to help people convert. Mobile, obviously, it's international. A lot of things that we learn on the localization side. And I love this slide because this represents a lot what we're exactly not doing. So we focus on language translation, but more and more we're going into strategy and culturalization. But as an example of what we learned, very simple, Lara Croft Go was localized, Hitman Go wasn't for these 5 territories in Asia. And obviously, we did 16% of our revenue on Lara Croft Go came from Asia versus 6.5 on Hitman Go. Another very telling example, we localized Hitman Sniper in Japan, and it helped us climb to top chart. This is the top paid ranking for Japan for that territory. It took 3 days to reach the top spot, and we stayed there for 43 days. No marketing, no UA, no press, no nothing. It just got there organically. So that was amazing. We didn't expect it. China, as I said, China is another territory that we perform really well. This is the top paid chart in China. Actually, that's still the case today. We have, we've been number 1 in the top paid chart in China last year for, I think, 8 days. This year, we're on our 13th day, starting in early January. So it's amazing. Do you know what kind of volume we get out of this? We did a Chinese New Year update. We got promoted for the first week of the featuring, which was 2 weeks ago. But still, because the app climbed to top chart, because of that, it gives us roughly 230,000 page views every day. Just the visibility from that top spot in the top paid category. Obviously, it's a pretty big territory, so there's a lot of volume. But it means that a lot of people are likely to convert. Updates are also key. Updates are also something that we're very happy. This is the data we got from our update for Lara Croft Go. We brought in 15% new user, which is fun, but we reactivated 65% of our lapsed users. It was not an opportunity we benefited from. We didn't have in-app purchases or possibility of upselling our users because of that. But that tells you that, an update actually works. We did a big update also for Hitman Sniper with zombies. And we reactivated 1 million churn users. And 50,000 of them were payers. Payers meaning people that had already bought in-app purchases. And in the revenue that we've done in the following week, 50% of our revenue came from the featuring and the new users that came in, but 25% of our revenue came from these lapsed users that we brought back in. Another chart that I like to present and why updates are important. All right, so you've got 3 types of users. You've got the red ones. These are people that were in your game when we did the update. The green one are people that started with the update. And the black one are lapsed users that came back. What it shows is that, obviously, the people that came to the game, the green ones, they were excited. That was great. When the line is in a little darker color, it means that these people consumed the purchases. So it's normal. These people had a very strong day one retention. We're at 80% day one retention. People were into it. But you see also that on long term, they started, over 30 days, there's not that many that are still in the games. People that have churned, the green one, the black ones, they came back, they played a little bit, they experienced a new concept, and again, retention went back to normal. But the red ones, the ones that were already in the game, that were already engaged, the ones that had already monetized, so the dark red line, we still had 17% of them after 30 days. So keeping these guys in game, they're the ones that are also monetizing. So that's why we're trying to do as much as possible regular updates right now with Hitman Sniper. One of the things we did, we integrated Facebook into Hitman Sniper. It's not something that people necessarily appreciate, but it's something that was very useful for us because we're able to see that people that play with friends had 3 times the retention again. 3 times longer retention because you play with friends. The game didn't encourage playing with friends that much. We just put a leaderboard, so that's a opportunity we missed of encouraging that more, adding more of these social networks so that people can easily play with their friends. That's the kind of things that we'd like to do going forward. Another learning, and again, it's a very simple one, bundles. Bundles cost nothing to do, but it adds to the visibility you get in the store. When you do searches, or when people do searches, your app comes up a few more times. It shows up in the top of the list, and it's also a great opportunity of upselling. If people are looking for Lara Go and they end up on that page, they might get the whole bundle or might just be interested in one. Anyway, it's additional value. We didn't see any impact on the initial game before bundling them, and bundling obviously brought more revenue. Can even get featured. We got Prime featuring for the bundle because there were 2 award-winning games. So again, getting a big banner across the world for a bundle, it's a lot of revenue that we were applying for. Before going to questions, the last things, and again, I've said every time, Windows, if you're working with an engine that supports it, if you're working with Unity, so it makes it easy, it brings between 5 and 10% of our revenue every month on the Go series. So the whole Go series is on the Windows ecosystem. It's steady. It's a great partner to work with. They're eager for great content, and they're a lot more willing to promote you because they don't have as many great games. So I wanted to keep time for questions. For me, it was just a lot of random elements that we learned over the last 3 years. I hope there's a few things that you can apply to what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. But overall, the idea is to make great games, whether they're premium or free. I'm a gamer. I love making great games. We started making premium games because that was the DNA of the people in the studio. It was easier for us to do premium games, but it's also the kind of thing that we like playing. Thank you for your time, and we have time for questions.
First question.
Hi. So it's kind of a compound question. The first one, when you said Windows 10, is that like the Windows Store or is that Steam? And otherwise, the second one, if it's not, then how does Steam compare to mobile? Because you've released on Steam after the mobile release.
So when I talk about Windows, it's Windows Store. Because Windows Store is also the store for tablets. They had Windows Phone also a few years back, but they seem to have forgot about this. As for Steam, it's a great platform. We brought our games to Steam. And for us, again, it's something I could have mentioned, but we can extend our revenue by bringing our premium games to other ecosystems. Development costs, obviously, you need to adapt, but the business model is already adapted for these platforms, so we can go to these platforms at lower cost.
But how does it compare to the mobile?
What do you mean compare? I mean, it's a different experience. It's a different way to interact with the game. If you want to ask, sales-wise, we had performed better on mobile.
Okay.
Because they were pristine mobile titles. But the revenue we get out of Steam is also, as I say, it's paying for beer.
So my question would be, the in-app purchases you can make, are they just skins, or do you also get like enhancements in a way? So do some people feel like they're treated in a bad way because they have to pay for a premium title and then also have to do in-app purchases?
No, and that's the thing. That's why I feel we've done it right, because people, again, it's part of the trend that you need to complain about premium games with in-app purchases. But if you don't feel forced, if there's no paywalls, if there's not a timer that you see that you'll need to pay at one point, if you feel it's a service, because we're not forcing you, if it helps you progress faster in the game, it's a service that we're selling to users. And if you, again, don't push it too much in their face, they only see it as additional value. And we've done that for Hitman Sniper. You can buy guns, you can buy currency to progress faster. We created a gun because people were demanding to reduce the grind. So you buy the gun and it unlocks all the scoring opportunities. And there's a few thousand of people that have done this.
Can you share a little bit of the 51% that you said that people found your app? Do you actually have numbers of how many people came through the features that you had in the different stores? So you see like real organic traffic without features.
It's feature traffic. It's people that have discovered the game from going to the store. So it's either the prime featuring or secondary featuring or past editor's choice, but this is how they saw the game for their first time. So again, they had word of mouth. If it was a friend recommending, they could have said word of mouth. So that's why it's still interesting to see that, the views that we have on these sites, there's a lot of people that are going there to discover new titles.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good show.